Hello everyone, Mark McCrary here with the Douglas Hills Church of Christ. Thank you for listening to this week's Minute with the Word. If we are honest with ourselves, the temptation to sin is never far from us. Sometimes it's a small voice that's just sort of suggesting things that we can brush aside relatively easily. Other times it's a loud voice screaming at us, pointing out sin, pointing out how sin will make us happy, how it will fulfill all our desires, telling us, do what you want to do. Don't worry about anyone else. Don't worry about how your sin affects anyone else. Don't worry about God. Just do what you want to do. Sometimes we give in. Sometimes we begin to think that we will be happier when we sin. But probably our history tells us that's not the case. All of us know that there are times we have given into sin and we only make our life more difficult. Mark my words, whenever you and I give ourselves over to sin, it will ultimately only lead to misery, not joy. Someone has said that sin will always take you farther than you want to go and cost more than you're willing to pay. That's a modern paraphrase of what Hosea wrote under inspiration in Hosea chapter 4, verse 10. Where God, speaking of how the Israelites had sinned, God said this, "For they shall eat, but not have enough. They shall commit harlotry, but not increase." Sin says you have more, you'll be happier. God said you'll eat, but you'll never have enough. You'll have your sexual pleasures, but you'll never really increase. Why? Because they have ceased obeying the Lord. God made us to obey Him, and we will never find true happiness until we follow Him. Deuteronomy chapter 6 verse 24 tells us that God gives His law for our good. And John in 1 John 5:3 tells us God's commands are not burdensome. Here's our challenge for this week. Stop listening to the silent or the loud voice. Start listening to the divine voice, God. Let's obey Him this week. Thanks for listening.